So I'm on social media last night and it's kicking off about Paul Scholes, right? And somebody's playing a clip from the 2011 Champions League final of Scholes at Wembley, and he's making loads of mistakes and he looks really slow. And somebody comments and goes, this is why Odegaard's better than Scholes, right? And I just was like, I think even Terry got involved in it. And I thought, you know what? You've failed. If you've got involved, you've taken the bait. You've literally taken the bait. There is simplistically no point in comparing George Best to Eden Hazard, because Eden Hazard playing in those circumstances on those pitches at that time wouldn't be fit enough to lace George Best's boots. But you put George Best from the 60s up against Eden Hazard 10 years ago, he's going to struggle with the fitness and everything like that. So you can never compare two different eras. It's like Schmeichel's the best goalkeeper I've ever seen. He'd be absolutely ridiculed in the modern game because he can't play with his feet. So you can only live in your own lane, basically. However, what I will say is Paul Scholes was he like 37 in 2011? And a 37-year-old in 2011 is not the same as being a 37-year-old now. I mean, it's basically 15 years of fitness, isn't it? So you can't say, well, Modric at 37. It's very different playing at 37 in 2011 to 2026. Also, Paul Scholes would have been in his prime in 2000. So 26 years ago, Paul Scholes would have been in his prime at about 27, yeah? 26 years ago. So I'm looking on social media at these people trying to make out Odegaard's better than Paul Scholes. And I'm like, to watch Paul Scholes in his prime and understand it, because at 10 years of age, you can't be sat there every week watching Paul Scholes going, oh, Daddy, this is brilliant from Scholes. I'm looking at the distribution, the positioning, the ability to get a goal, arrive late in the box. You know, his tactical intelligence and his sat-nav feet is incredible, Dad. So that's a 36-year-old watching prime Paul Scholes, would have been 10 when Paul Scholes was in his prime, right? So if you're under 36 and you're talking about Scholes and Odegaard, get back up your mum's chuff. You're talking absolute rubbish. Rubbish. And also, even if you're 36, I'm not respecting a 10-year-old's assessment of Paul Scholes because it was very nuanced. So you've got to be, I would say, to understand Paul Scholes, I would say you've got to be at least 16 when you're watching him in the prime to have some semblance of football identity and tactics and everything. That makes you 42. So I'm looking at people like Terry getting involved and I'm thinking, unless the people getting involved in this argument are over 40, I ain't even getting involved. And I seen Boovy, the biggest fucking, I'm seeing him on Monday actually, the biggest shitster. I'd shake his hand and say, mate, you got people on strings getting involved in it. He's definitely under 35. So he's another chuff monster as well. It's nonsense. Just don't get involved. Don't get involved. Odegaard's better than Scholes. Today, the game is quicker, 100%. But you can't take players. This is what I always say, right? You put Paul Scholes at 37 in Man United's midfield today, he's going to struggle. The game's a bit quicker. The game's different. He's going to struggle. But if you put Odegaard with the same level of fitness that everybody had in 2011 in a midfield, he ain't going to stand out either. The modern game is more about tactics, strategy. It's a game of chess. It's strategic. It's long throw-ins. It's long kicks. It's corners. It's fouling goalkeepers. The game between 1990 and 2010 was more individualistic. It was more flair. You got better goals. You got people taking people on. People live in their eras. Comparing that to that most of the time is idiotic.